What is up, everybody? Christopher here. Yes, your favorite American in Germany YouTuber is back with yet another video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about smoking in Germany. But before I get to that, looking at my analytics, more than 85% of my viewers, turns out, aren't subscribed to this channel. I hope today would be the day that I earn that from you guys. It actually means that if just half of you guys would subscribe to the channel today, I would actually meet my goal for 2020. I hope today is the day that I earn that from you. But on with the video, smoking. Smoking in Germany. With Germany being as progressive as they are, with taking care of people and things like that, it's kind of striking to me to find that so many people here smoke cigarettes. And a quick disclaimer, I actually used to be a smoker, so I'm not knocking anybody. To each their own. It's your life, do whatever you want to do. I'm just pointing out a little bit of what I see. So back in the States, there's been this great push to get people to quit smoking, mainly because of health reasons. And even back then, I always thought to myself, how can they be pushing people to stop smoking and at the same time selling cigarettes? It never made sense to me, even when I was a smoker. When I was serving in the military is when I was heaviest with it. I can say about 8 to 10 years, I was actually a constant, regular smoker. It wasn't until I got out, until I separated, that I decided that smoking was not for me. I dropped it cold turkey and I never looked back. And I never understood, not because I don't believe it, but because I didn't go through that. I never understood how people couldn't quit cold turkey because they had so many withdrawals and drawbacks and stuff to giving it up. I didn't have those. I was able to quit and never look back. Never craved it, never wanted another one. I was just done. It's unmistakable how many people smoke over here. You can smell it at the airports, you can smell it outside restaurants, you can smell it at schools. Yes, at the schools. I've even seen people smoking outside the churches. People smoke, and people smoke heavy. I've witnessed people that are up in the age still smoking pretty heavy. I've witnessed people who are underage smoking pretty heavy. And as a matter of fact, at the school my kids go to, when they're waiting at their bus stop to get on the bus, kids will take and toke up right there at the bus stop. Right before the bus comes, you'll be seeing them smoking and puffing, and just like, it's just so normal and regular. That had to be one of the things that I wondered for the longest time about, how the kids are just smoking and it's just okay. But that's just part of the freedoms that Germany allows their people, and I ain't mad at the freedoms, but it's kind of crazy, kids smoking outside the schools and at the bus stops and stuff. It's kind of crazy. And looking at these stats here, apparently the legal age to smoke is 18 here in Germany. So when I see 14 and 15-year-olds just smoking at will, it's just kind of bonkers that it's just like, not regulated in any kind of way. I guess they do the best they can. They just don't want to make it a thing, kind of like drinking. They don't want to turn it into something that the kids will rebel and do anyway.
I do what I want.
But the legal age is technically 18 according to this. Meanwhile, in the States, this technical smoking age, depending on the state, between ages 18 up to 21. So depending on the state, the legal age to begin smoking is between 18 and 21. So about 25% of Germany's population are smokers. And while that number seems small, it could be quite a lot, because you can see the smokers everywhere you go. If you go to a park, you're gonna find people smoking. If you go to the festivals, like, so many people are smoking. You're gonna walk through clouds of smoke everywhere you go. And it doesn't matter who's around, they're gonna do it. If your kids are standing there, if you're holding babies, pushing babies in the stroller, if there are people who are sick, they just really don't care. They just don't look out for other people in that way. They just want to smoke their cigarettes. Out of that 25% of the population, 29% of them are men and 20% are women. Speaking for myself, I've just never been a fan of female smokers. Not that, male smokers are any better. It's just like a personal preference. It irks me to watch females smoke. It's just, let's call it what it is. It's kind of a nasty habit, and I just hate to see women like downgrade themselves, because I'm attracted to women. I don't want to see women with black teeth.
Holy moly.
Talking like this, voice deeper than mine.
I'm good on that, But 29% of men, 20% of women here in Germany. So the first thing for me that made me quit smoking was the fact that I could feel my health deteriorating. I can feel my lungs get tight when I ran or worked out. I can feel myself being slower than I'm used to being. And I could just feel it on the inside. I can feel that smoking wasn't helping me at all. That was the number one thing that made me quit. and never look back. In fact, I joined CrossFit. So I was doing CrossFit heavy. And anybody who knows CrossFit or has done CrossFit knows that you need oxygen when you're doing those WODs workout of the day. You need oxygen. You need to breathe because you got to keep going. You got to push and push and push. So that coupled with smoking was not going to work. Not in the least bit. That was the first thing. The second thing was finances. And cigarettes are way more expensive now than they were then. But even then, I just couldn't stand spending that money anymore on something that I'm just blowing into the air. I couldn't stand it. It was getting super expensive. I didn't want to do it no more. And once I quit doing it, I was able to save a significant amount of money because cartons of cigarettes now, I can't believe how much they cost these days. And I couldn't imagine paying this much back then. I couldn't even imagine it. Again, I ain't knocking it. Do what you do. But that was the two things for me that made me decide that it was no longer something I wanted to have a part of my life. And I am an actual advocate for not promoting this stuff to young people. Young people don't have the ability to make proper decisions yet, especially when they're young as 15. They're not able to make the proper decisions for themselves. So promoting to kids is out of the question. I'm not an advocate for kids and cigarette smoke. I can actually remember when I was in high school, we had an actual smoking section. I didn't think anything of it back then, but there was an actual smoking section in my high school. There isn't anymore, but it was actually there. And that's crazy to think about in today's world. You got 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds smoking. You know what I mean? And it being allowed. There's an actual section set aside for them to go smoke at lunch or whenever. That's crazy to think about. So one thing I am proud of is the fact that something has come to kind of take the place of blackening your lungs and ruining your breath and your mouth and risking getting different cancers and stuff like that. And that's vaping. So vaping to me is a nice alternative to smoking. If you need the nicotine and you need to smoke something, vaping is a good alternative to that, in my opinion. It doesn't really pollute the air. A lot of them come with like fragrances and flavors and stuff like that. So it actually can leave behind the air a little bit more pleasant than cigarette smoke, tobacco smoke. I welcome that over cigarette smoke any day. In fact, the place I just worked at had a heavy vapor, and this guy was big into the vape. He had the whole apparatus and everything, the whole thing that you charge, and the whole thing. It was just a whole thing. I went into one of these shops one day just to see where they've come with this thing, and vaping is huge. Vaping is huge now. So for the people that want to get away from tobacco smoke, and like I said, risking cancers and different kinds of dangers to your health, vaping is a good alternative. Just something to think about. I actually received a small vape pen from a friend of mine, and I tried it out because I wanted to see what the fuss was about. And it's actually very pleasant. It's way more pleasant than smoking tobacco cigarettes. Just way more pleasant. It's a little more pleasant. So to go back though, health-wise, I don't see how companies like Marlboro and these other companies are getting away with selling something that's so dangerous, while at the same time, the Department of Health and these other corporations are pushing for people to stop smoking. I think the push should be to get these companies to stop selling what's killing people, what's hurting people. Maybe? I don't know. And I know they give people the opportunity to make their own decisions and be responsible for their own health. I get it, I do. But it just seems a little backwards to me. Smoking in Germany is a bit much, and noticing that so many people smoke is just, it's kind of crazy to think about being the way Germany is with its people and stuff like that. So maybe find an alternative or smoke away. It's up to you. Equally up to you is deciding to subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, especially if you like hearing about my experiences as an American here in Germany. Check out some of my previous videos, and as always, I will talk to you guys in the next one.
In a place serene and pure and free. Hey, I ain't worried about what's the way.